Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This whole thing has culminated into some charges, and the police will be having a press conference.
WFLA Now will begin momentarily.
And as you know, these people brutally attacked this black man who was just doing his job. He was trying to let them know that they could not dock their boat at a certain point because another vessel that was coming in needed that space, and this resulted in them attacking this black man. These white people ganged up on this black man and attacked him. And you had some good Samaritans that were black that came in and helped defend. You even had one person that was swimming over there to try to come and help. And, you know, it's just incredible. Let's see how the charges shake out. Now, unfortunately, from what I've gathered, all of the people aren't going to be charged that needed to be charged. And you know how that goes. So let's see if absolutely everyone that ganged up on this man, including the females, should be charged. But let's see what we have shake out in the wash.
Good afternoon. Again, Chief Darrell Albert, Montgomery Police Department. Now, I'll kind of lay out the facts as we know them now regarding the incident that took place on Saturday, August 5th, 2023 at 7 p.m. There were several events taking place on our historic riverfront. Positive feedback regarding a school event hosted by the Montgomery Public Schools and Hyundai was taking place at the amphitheater and nearby train shed. The Harriet II river cruise ship was fully operational, operating from a designated docking space along the river. The Harriet takes passengers on 2-hour tours up and along the Alabama River throughout the day. On this day, there were 227 passengers aboard that vessel. The incident occurred between the co-captain of the Harriet II vessel and a private boat owner and his family. As the Harriet attempted to dock in its designated space, designated and reserved due to the gangway access as well as the mooring requirements, the private boat was docked in its space, prohibiting safe docking of the Harriet. The captain of the Harriet remained away from the dock for nearly 40 to 45 minutes as they attempted to contact the operators of the private boat via PA system. They were only responded to with obscene gestures, curse words, and taunting. The co-captain was then picked up by a separate vessel and brought to the pier in an attempt to have a conversation with the private boat owners and or have those boats moved so that the Harriet could dock. A confrontation ensued between the co-captain and Mr. Pickett, the co-captain, being attacked by several members of the private boat. Several members of the Harriet II came to Mr. Pickett's defense, engaging in what we all have seen since on social media. I'll give you a timeline as to the way the calls came in and the Montgomery Police Department's response. The original call came in at 7 p.m. as a typical disturbance. The caller, who was the captain of the Harriet, was very calm and not in distress. As additional calls were received, at 7:15 p.m., the call was dispatched to the Montgomery Police Department. 7:18, the first units, 4 Montgomery Police Department officers arrived on scene, with 3 shortly thereafter. 13 individuals were detained and brought to police headquarters for questioning and interviews. Those interviews lasted several hours. At that time, all parties involved were released pending further investigation, but were all given instructions on how to secure warrants on combatants. We have since consulted with and are continuing to work with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, our state police agency, the Montgomery's DA's office, and the local office of the FBI. This investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. We encourage the public to continue to send us additional videos or evidence relating to this case. Those can be sent to Star Center at montgomeryal.gov or at our secret witness 334-625-4000. The victims in this case, the co-captain, Mr. Damian Pickett, black male, and a 16-year-old white male juvenile who was struck by the owners and operators of the private boat. The suspects thus far have been identified as Richard Roberts, white male, 48 years old, with 2 outstanding warrants for assault, 3rd degree. Alan Todd, white male, 23 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. And Zachary Shipman, white male, 25 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. We have instructed those individuals to turn themselves into law enforcement, and as at this time, 1 is secured and in custody. The other 2 are set to turn themselves in within the next hour. We're also asking for Mr. Reggie Gray, the black male, 42 years old, who was seen.
Now, I saw on the video the white women clearly stomping on the black guy when he was on the ground. And when the black guy who was the employee, the co-captain, had walked away, the same woman had pushed him in the chest. So let's not just lock up the white men, the white women that were participating. There needs to be much more charges brought on many more people. So let's not try to hide and protect the Karens and Beckys. They need to get it too. Because they don't have they're the ones that stir their men up to come out and attack. And a lot of you people think that, a lot of times they get away with stuff, but they're the ones that's out there pushing and pumping their men up to go out and attack you people. They're the ones that push and pump their men out to go out and to defend their honor and to attack these black men.
Wielding that folding chair to contact the Montgomery Police Department for further interviews, and as part of the Montgomery's DA's office and the local office of the FBI. This investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. We encourage the public to continue to send us additional videos or evidence relating to this case. Those can be sent to Star Center at montgomeryal.gov or at our secret witness 334-625-4000. The victims in this case, the co-captain, Mr. Damian Pickett, black male, and a 16-year-old white male juvenile who was struck by the owners and operators of the private boat. The suspects thus far have been identified as Richard Roberts, white male, 48 years old, with 2 outstanding warrants for assault, 3rd degree. Alan Todd, white male, 23 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. And Zachary Shipman, white male, 25 years old, 1 warrant for assault, 3rd degree. We have instructed those individuals to turn themselves into law enforcement, and as at this time, 1 is secured and in custody. The other 2 are set to turn themselves in within the next hour. We're also asking for Mr. Reggie Gray, the black male, 42 years old, who was seen wielding that folding chair, to contact the Montgomery Police Department for further interviews and as part of this investigation. As the mayor said a minute ago, this investigation is ongoing and more charges are likely. We want to thank the public and the media for supplying the much needed evidence and video surveillance that we've received and it helped us to determine the facts as they happen. Keep in mind, when incident took place, when it initially took place, the police department didn't have the luxury of the videos that we all have seen now. The police department was acting on statements and witness statements that occurred as we arrived. Now that we have more information, again, more charges are pending. I'm available to answer your questions, but that sums up where we are at this time, sir.
Okay, now my thing is not one single solitary black person or anyone that came to the defense of this dock worker should be charged with absolutely anything. Because if you are helping to protect and defend someone who is being jumped, you should not be charged with anything, no matter what means. Somebody could have came with a gun and started blasting, blowing them all away. They were helping to protect and defend someone who was being gang attacked. Now, Montgomery, Alabama has the opportunity to get it right, and they need to charge every single one of those people who participated and ganged up on this black co-captain who was just doing his job. That includes every man, woman, teenager that was involved in ganging up on this guy and attacking him. If they charge one person who stood up to defend this person, then you know that the Montgomery, Alabama, you're going to be looking for a big problem, because there is no way that we in this country can continue to allow white terrorist violence on black people. It's been 400-500 years. Let's see, when did they first bring blacks over here? This country was founded in the late Jamestown. I think that was in 1400s when they got here. Started the attack on the Browns that was here. Brought the slaves over here. The attacks on the blacks. You know, we can't allow this. And for all you Marlon Wayans types who say, oh, there's violence, and Candace Owens types that says, oh, there's violence in the black community and you're not doing anything about that. Well, you know what? The police need to do their job, because I've seen wonderful black communities. If the police do their job, it gets cleaned up. Most of the people in these black communities, predominantly black communities, are good, decent, hardworking people. It's only a few bad apples in the bunch that the cops allow to destroy these neighborhoods and to run rampant. We are tax-paying citizens and law-abiding citizens. The people that get out of line should be held to account. And that means all of these people who decided to gang up on this guy and attack him. But what do you think? Leave your comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Visit the Wonders of a Black Woman merch shop. Peace. And all you Candace Owens and Marlon Wayans, please don't just have a seat. Sit underneath the seat. Underneath the seat. Not even on the seat, underneath the seat.